Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog coming to you today talking about investing in yourself. Today's topic on investing yourself, and 3 ways you can invest in yourself is your mind, your body, and your spirit. I'll start with the one that's the easiest. I would say the body. People overly focus on the body in our society when it's swimsuit season or summer season, but you should be consistently, if you want to be a leader, if you want to be in front of people and convince them of things at work, things on a team, it's easier when you have the energy to do so. Because leadership is a mental game. You know, you use your mind rather than your physical to move people and organizations. However, it requires a tremendous amount of energy. Your mental energy is limited by your physical energy. So becoming physically fit naturally boosts your mental energy. We can see all the time when you have a boss who encourages folks not to smoke and they're outside smoking. Same thing as a doctor who tells you not to smoke and he's outside smoking. Or in the South where people tell you you need to cut back on sugary food and fatty food, but look around and people are ridiculously gorging on sugary foods and fatty foods. It's hard to prepare yourself for heavy conversations, heavy workloads if you're just not physically fit. I see a lot of friends I have go home and just crash at about 5 o'clock. And you try to get them out of the house for happy hour, you try to get them out of the house for activities, and they just don't have the energy. But repeatedly sitting at home, instead of getting up and walking around their neighborhood maybe for a mile, or doing a lap around the neighborhood just to build up that body energy, or going to the gym for an hour after a long day, that is what hurts them. And on the other hand, I have friends who get up early in the morning and attend CG, which is Camp Gladiator out here in Austin, Texas, about 5:30 in the morning. I used to do it myself for a while. And during that time period, I had enough energy to go through and work 2 jobs. I had enough energy to have a really long day and feel really effective in that day. I can tell the difference when, not saying you have to be a muscular, over-the-top Instagram chick or guy, but just having enough energy to carry yourself through your work day and your workload, and have enough time for your family when you get home. That makes me worried that kids only see their parents completely exhausted, too tired to help with homework, and have nothing left to give. It's the worst. So I would say just a little bit of a walk or two around your neighborhood once you get home, investing in a hike or something on the weekends. I go to boxing class myself because it requires you to stay alert and focused the whole time. If you imagine you're in a boxing ring, which life can sometimes be that way. So I would say, as far as the body as well, as investing in your appearance is important. I know I'm in an Austin, Texas kind of, I work from home capital, and so I can wear whatever I want, or I'm a hipster, I can wear what I want. When you step in the room, how you dress, depending on the business and the meeting we're attending, says a lot about you. If you took a few minutes to put together a little bit better, that helps so much. Professional attire just makes you stand out sometimes when you're in a room. I mean, there's sometimes I see guys in suits, full suits, who, if it's after 5, he's got my full attention because I'm like, wow, where's that guy going? And that guy might be a winner, you know? It's little things like that. You make yourself stand out as far as a leader, as far as a person who cares, as far as a person who's knowledgeable. Because when you're trying to take care of yourself and you're dressing as though you do care. Doesn't always mean that you're probably the best, but it's just a good way to invest in yourself is dressing up and being able to speak with others in a way that they're like, man, that person has a really great command of their body and a command of their clothing. Another part is when you look good, you feel good. So people follow winners and winners look and feel confident. It's a good slogan to remind yourself of. Investing in your spirit. So a lot of people will go, Erica, well, you know, stay away from the church thing, stay away from spirituality. But I feel like it's a very important part where people just walk around like robots and have no awareness of karma and look how believing in a higher good is looking out for them and wants abundance in their life. I think that's really important if we believe we're connected and that we have faith and things happen for a reason. There's so many times I feel like people dig deep and they endure tough times and tough seasons because they do believe in God or they do believe in Jesus. And so I know a lot of people are like, well, you don't have to be a believer to be successful. You don't. You don't have to be a believer to be successful, but you do have to be bigger than yourself. Your whole world cannot be yourself. And I think that's where people fall down, or people become cynical and bitter in the long walk of life, because they say, bad things happen to good people, or they don't understand the concept of spreading out good. Spreading out good as far as charity, donations, just be able to believe that your spirit requires nourishment, exercise, and constant attention. Investing in your spirit is, in essence, an investment in a strong belief system. I mean, if your belief system is, hey, you know what, I get mine, you get yours, I don't care, we already see where that leads. That leads to jail. We've got plenty of people in jail who, at the end of the day, they were their higher power. They were the person they felt deserved and needed to get whatever they want by any means necessary. And anybody can do that. That's fine. You can live that life, but it is short-lived, and it doesn't last long, because you'll meet someone bigger and stronger than you, or you'll be in jail. So, but I just find that it's just, if your belief system determines your values, principles, attitude, and confidence, you can be amazed at some of the quiet power I see of some people who, I know they have faith. It doesn't matter if they're Catholic. It doesn't matter if they are Muslim. I don't start that conversation yet. I just have a deep conversation about life and can see that person's lived long enough to know that they're not the biggest thing in their world. And so I think it's very important, because complaining and people at work that complain, it shows the condition of their heart. It really does. I feel like your beliefs have a direct impact on your confidence, passion, enthusiasm, likability, and ultimately the quality of your impact on others as a leader. I mean, people follow you. I mean, they really do. And if you're feel crappy, think crappy, look crappy, I mean, your life is probably crappy. It's a compound effect on all sides. If you can't take care of the body and the spirit, it's like, what can people do with you? There's not much, because, at that point, you don't have much to give. And so last but not least, but the greatest part I would say is invest in your mind. I meet people who are so short-sighted, and it hurts me. There's a song out saying, I know my rent was going to be late a month ago. I don't care. I got enough to get in this club. And I want people to be happy. By all means, I want them to be happy. But I want them to figure out, okay, why does my rent keep being late? I mean, I had to literally sit down with myself on this after losing an apartment and go, what was the event and the things I was doing that I should have not done, and being able to invest in myself so that I didn't lose this apartment. You have to sometimes life will kick your butt a little bit, and you have to have realistic conversations with yourself. Now, if it's like that for 2 or 3 years, you need to really examine, okay, where are you living? Can you afford to live in that area? What are you driving? Are you spending outside of your price range at that point? Excuse me. So, leaders who continually invest in themselves and their knowledge are happier, more motivated, confident, effective, and more likable. I think they are. Leaders have a passion for learning, and I understand that passion. I like to gain knowledge, and I like to go to conferences and meet other people who are on that same journey. I think that is probably the best thing you could do for your whole life. I think a lot of times people love multi-level marketing companies and direct selling companies because they have a lot of conferences. They have a lot of opportunities to get recharged, motivated, and get out and keep selling. And the thing about those, even if you're not in one of those companies, you could go to conferences all over your city. Go on Eventbrite and look up conferences for your city. I mean, it's one of the most amazing things you can invest, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a room full of people who are willing to expand their mind and expand their knowledge base and become motivated. I mean, it basically tells you that average CEO reads 60 books. The average manager, I think, reads 20 books a year. And then the average multimillionaire reads 5 to 6 books a month. So, I mean, Warren Buffett, first thing he always says is he reads for 2 to 4 hours a day. If that doesn't mean something to you, I don't know what to do with you. Now, if you're not a great reader, there are audiobooks everywhere. You can pretty much get anything in audiobook form. But the average American can barely read 1 book a year, or get through 1 book a year. So when people complain about being in the 99% and not in the 1%, there's your biggest key right there. If you can't sit out some time to read a book or attend a seminar or a workshop or a conference, to keep your skills updated and sharp. I mean, how can someone keep you at a company? Why would I keep you at a company? You don't even care about yourself. Why would I keep you there? I think that's going to be a big thing in the future is the managers are going to start saying, hey, we put out a conference or a meeting or a seminar on your 401k. You didn't attend. I got real questions about your future with the company. Or we put out a meeting about educational benefits. And if you want to take some education for free on the dime of the company, you didn't attend. I've got questions. And I think people need to pay attention to that, because once it gets to that, then they're going to be like, I want to invest in myself. I want to invest in myself. Well, it's a little too late. I mean, I can give you an example. When I worked at Lowe's, they kept trying to get people to enroll into 401k, and they would match you up to 6%. And you, to this day, you still couldn't get people to go into the 401k system, even though they were willing to match them. It was quite crazy that they were willing to match people and people still were not signing up. And so at that point, Lowe's decided to do an automatic 1%. There are many people who had worked for Lowe's for 10, 15 years in their same jobs in painting or in lumber or wherever, and they were millionaires. The ones who matched from the beginning, who matched from the get-go. I mean, they had a guy before, at the ending of me working there, he had made $3 million, but he was a horse management for many, many years. But at the point of story is he invested in the company, he invested in his mind, he listened to what they asked. And so for most people, all I can tell them is if you want to expand your mind, you need to attend and invest your own money into conferences, seminars, workshops to keep your skills up. You need to be reading constantly. And I don't want to see you without a book. I want you, even if you can't do anything but subscribe to weekly ezines, trade magazines, business publications, Success Magazine by Gerald Hardy. This is what keeps you outside others. This is what keeps you out in front. This is what keeps management going. I really like the way that person just thought out of the box, and I want to put them in charge of something. That's how you grow, and that's how you show people your skills. It's very, very hard for me to have conversations with people who say, man, I would love to start a business. And I go, what are some of the books you're reading? I don't read. Immediately, I cannot kid you not. There's so many times I wanted to just get up and walk away from the complete conversation. And want to go, you're useless then. If you don't read, you think you know everything, you're in for a long, hard road. And it may not show today that I'm a multimillionaire or something like that because I read, but more shortly than that person's lifespan, I will surpass them. And it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to compare yourself to others, but at the end of the day, I'll probably surpass them financially quicker than they have, even though they've been long-term consistent in their job, is because I already read a lot of books on how to get there. I've already created multiple streams. I already invest in Lending Club. I invest in monthly high-end monthly dividend stocks. And hard work beats talent every day. I mean, you can't coast on talent. You have to invest in yourself. You can be really sharp coming out of college, but 10 years later, if you're not working on your diet, working out, if you're not working on your spirit, if you're not working on your mind, what good do you add to others? I mean, it's very important. I don't want to talk to people who are like, yeah, my best years were college, and they're a 40-year-old person. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Your best year should have been last year or this month of this year. I'm growing and expanding as great as possibly can be. And, when people talk to you about movies, I don't care about what's on the movie theater. If I talk to you about business and you have no clue what your retirement age is or where you're going to retire, geez, that's depressing. So I really want people to take it serious, invest in yourself. Even if you just read one magazine a month, at the end of the year, that's 12 magazines. That could totally benefit you. And I think people overlook that. Oh, it's just a magazine. But if you do one thing every day, or you watch on Saturday, if you start binging on YouTube videos about business, by the end of the year, you've had 52 weekends of knowledge and put into your mind. Things like that help you grow and help you invest in yourself. So I just want to encourage you today, find something that you can invest in. I mean, I have a video out called 120 Days to Immersion. It's a really great video. I'm going to put the link below. You got to check it out. You got to grow, people. Again, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You can reach me at Erica S. Williams on Twitter. Invest in yourself, people. Invest in yourself starting today. All right. Thank you, guys.